D&D players are often way less invested in campaign stories than the Dungeon Master is, leaving many Dungeon Masters feeling like the players just don't care. But that doesn't have to be the case. I figured out how to get my players so hooked on story that they actively chase it down all on their own, to the point that they've made a 16-tab Google Doc unraveling the mysteries of the campaign that they call their Red String Conspiracy Theory board. So this is how I get my players addicted to my stories, and thank you to all my Patreons for supporting. There's something all DMs need to realize if they want their players to care, but it's not the thing that you might be expecting. It's not the type of story or your skills at telling them, though that does help. It's that your players are fundamentally greedy. And to be honest, we all are. We come to Dungeons & Dragons for our own enjoyment, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, we are all different people, and we like different things. We enjoy different parts of D&D, and that is the hidden key that lets us unlock people caring about the parts we care about. That's right, caring is a two-way street. And if we want them to care about our story, we need to carefully place it embedded into things they care about. For the rest of the video, I'm going to be going over the most common things players care about. Players have the tendency to really get invested in their own choices. Where a lot of the game is created by the Dungeon Master, there is one thing that the players make at the very start of the game that they're so proud to put together themselves, that is made entirely out of their own choices. This one part almost never fails to get a player hooked. It's their backstory. Many DMs fail to take full advantage of the opportunities the backstory gives, often using them but just making side quests out of them, which there's nothing wrong with. But to fully utilize them, we need to look for holes in the backstory, pieces of information that our players do not know about their own backstory. We're looking for information that we can add to connect to our own stories. Things like missing information about who or what a character does, a mysterious event, missing characters in their life, for all the orphan D&D players out there, lack of reasons on why something happened, or just factions that never truly show their purpose or full history. The players might even think that they have some of the information on these characters, but we're going to fill in the empty holes that they left behind. By overlapping and tying these two things together, your players will be drawn into their backstory, but actually end up discovering all the story and things that you put a lot of effort into within your campaign plot. And if you want to make their life easier as a DM, I've got something coming for you so soon. I'm releasing a series of homebrew species, but as the DM, I have specifically designed them to give both players and DMs inspiration on the backstory, and the world lore that easily lets you link the two together. They'll be launching on my Patreon right after Dungeon Jam, including a free one. So if you want to be one of the first to pick up these easy-to-use species, head on over to my Patreon, link in description. Okay, so you have someone who basically wants to be in a dungeon crawl or a hack and slash, but that's not your game. They might not have even made a backstory or care about it. These players can feel impossible to make care about the story. Honestly though, sometimes for these ones we need to set our expectations low. However, the majority of them we can get to care. To do this, we need to focus on filling dungeons with purpose. Instead of lengthy descriptions, monologues, or quests, we need to subtly hide story within the mechanics of the dungeon. For example, if someone in your story has been kidnapped, instead of just a quest to, "Oh, save him please, he's helplessly sitting tied up doing nothing while your players do the dungeon," instead, fill the dungeon with people who are forced to help the enemy. They may heal or buff enemies in some way, but if freed, they will start doing the same for your party instead. This turns the story into a mechanic that they are interested in fulfilling on their own benefit, leading to the freeing of the person who did freed. By giving the story beats benefits within combat, we give these types of players a reason to chase them. On a similar note, many of these players also love loot and power-ups. Players who desperately want power and level ups are really easy to please and trick into the story. You might have already guessed this one by now, but giving players items that have mechanical uses and also story uses or story effects is kind of easy, right? But additionally on this, you can very easily guide players by placing reoccurring symbols, dungeon types, or plot hooks throughout the major plot points and events in your campaign. Then, for some story reason, allow the players to level up by completing them. By having these visible and easy to distinguish, players will start seeking them out. Then, make it obvious that by searching for plot hooks, they will uncover more of these secret level up zones or items, because progression is just a big part of D&D. And as the story continues to progress, so do the backstories of players. Well, not quite the backstories, but things the players find important, things they can latch onto. During your campaign, players will randomly latch onto so many different unexpected things you throw at them. I mean, seriously, a player from my campaign shoved the skeleton of a god from a place they were robbing into their bag of holding, deciding that they would worship it? There was no way I was going into this campaign and predicting that would happen. And that's why you can't pre-plot an entire campaign. You can have a rough outline, but a really, really great DM will change the course of the campaign based on the player's actions. By accepting that my player has made a choice to care about the skeleton that has no other purpose, or at least originally it did, I can bend my story to match the things they care about, to help guide them even further along it. This is how you end up with a controlled sandbox game, with a story where your players feel like they can always do anything, but what they do matters, yet they're still progressing and not feeling like they're only going on side tangents. Together, as you pull in the different aspects of what makes your players care and why you care, you end up with a story that makes everyone excited to come back to the table again and again and again. Don't forget to head on over to my Patreon and sign up for the free member so that you get notified when the species start dropping, along with the freebies that will come along with Monster Week and Dungeon Jam. And I hope you have a fantastic day.